Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Team Eagles monthly Zoom. We're happy to see so many of you join us this evening, and it's good to be back. As you probably know, the last few weeks, Mick and I have been in beautiful, sunny Roatan, Honduras, and we did manage to Zoom into a couple of those calls. I think last week we were traveling. So thanks so much to those of you who hosted and those of you who trained in our absence as well. As you know, we are Mick and Jenny Daly. We are National Marketing Directors in your support line, living in the beautiful mountains, the snowy mountains again now, of Colorado, and it is good to be home. So welcome. Let's start off, as always, by taking a look at the contest to see where we are currently, only halfway through the month, and guess what? Once again, National Marketing Director Rachel Harries is leading the pack with 380 points.
You didn't need to screen share.
Oh, I wasn't going to screen share. I thought you were doing that.
Well, okay, but we hadn't coordinated. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, 380 points. And Rachel told me last month after she won, she was really excited that she won it. And she said, I'm going to do it again next month. So we'll hold you to that, Rachel. But I know that Amanda's not that far behind you, nor is Nicole. And as you know, they're very competitive. So it's going to be interesting to see who ends up winning the contest.
I have to also comment and congratulate Rachel that she has 3 team members with her in the top 10, which is awesome.
Fantastic. Yep, well done. Yeah, they're on fire. Okay, well, before I introduce our speakers tonight, I will just show you that we received a shipment of Juice Plus today. I don't know whether you can see this. This little card was inside the Vineyard blend, and it was announced that the capsules are now vegan. They are vegetarian capsules. They're made out of tapioca-based vegan capsules. Okay, they passed some rigorous tests by the company, and now they are shipping the Vineyard in the vegan capsules, and the Orchard and Garden won't be far behind. So the company is constantly improving the products and making progress. Okay, enough from me. I'm excited this evening to introduce 2 of our favorite people, Linda Miller and Becky Wright. They are both up there in Delaware. Linda says she's sitting at the petrol station, the gas pump, should I say. She was so determined to get a good signal. How's that for commitment to this business? Have a great Wi-Fi signal where they live. So she drove down the road so she could join us tonight. I know they were wonderful hosts when we were up in Delaware this past summer. Spent some time with them, and they and their team, they're growing, they're committed, and we're just excited to see what's happening there, especially as they just returned from the Peachtree Boot Camp as well. Yeah. So with several of their team, the whole group of them went to Peachtree, which is Kurt Beaver's boot camp, if you like, every year in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm hoping next year we might actually make it there with a number.
That would be great.
So I don't know whether you're going to hear a little bit about that this evening, but anyway, Linda, Becky, over to you.
All right, thank you. Well, hi everybody, and this has been, the 3-way calls have been something that I've been really passionate about for a while, and I know I got to speak on it a couple months ago with the training. So in case there's some new ones on, this might not be redundant. I kind of reached out to, well, not kind of, I did. My very first 3-way connection call was with Jenny and Becky. And Becky came on not long after me, so we were both, still pretty new. And I could tell she just wasn't sure, she had some hesitancy. So I thought, well, you know what? I've been reading on the Team Eagles site about these 3-way calls. Let's do that. And when we finished that call with Becky and Jenny, as the call went on, I was like, wow, there is something to these calls, because when we hung up, that was a turning point for Becky, and she's been amazing. So I wanted to do that. I've done that with I don't think I've missed any new team member. That has been my way to welcome our new team members and to really validate them and me and Mick and Jenny. So that I just continue to be blown away by these three-way calls. I do them mostly with new team members, and I always do it with Mick or Jenny. I kind of figure out personality-wise who I think they would best connect with. And I feel like here I am, I'm bringing them to someone who's been with this company and on this product for 25 plus years. To me, that speaks volumes. So that's the first person that I want them connecting with when they become a new customer or a new rep.
Insert.
What?
Sorry, I was like, insert before you move to the next subject. I want to say something. Yeah,
sure.
Thanks. No, because actually that's what I was thinking about saying first. Linda did not. She asked, but not really. She more like said, hey, I have you scheduled for this call. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do that. Because honestly, before I knew that I loved the product, but I had no vision at all. And I just wanted to say, to pinpoint why it was such a big deal for me. And I'll just say this too. I am not a superstar in three-way calls. I have no idea why I'm asked to be on this call, honestly, unless it's just to get me excited again, because it does, being around you guys and my people, it does get me excited. But on Team Eagles, under the team building, resources, team building, and then the three-way calls, number 2 says that the leader will welcome them and cast a vision for what's possible. This will encourage each new person to go for the 2,000 plus and beyond. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's exactly what it did for me. It just planted those seeds, even though you wouldn't have known it as I was talking, because as she asked me questions like, I was very hesitant. So anyway, planting those seeds and casting that vision was a big deal for me.
Okay, and you're right. And I should have let you talk. We haven't really planned this real well, have we?
That's okay. We plan separately. It's good. Go ahead, and I'll keep breaking in. Just go for it.
Deal. So I realized I felt like I was on to something. So then Michelle, I don't think she's on. I'll tell you, here in Delaware, we go to bed early apparently. So it's hard to get our team on.
We get up early.
We get up early. So after she was on a call with Jenny also. And after the call, Michelle went to DD. She hadn't been doing anything. She went to DD and she went to conference. And then she was at boot camp with us this past weekend in Atlanta. So I'm seeing that as I bring new team members on, Mick and Jenny are able to help cast vision. And my new team members are meeting a couple that have been with the company for 25 plus years. That's one part of the three-way call that has really, like, I run with that. I don't miss one team member connecting with Mick or Jenny. I just don't. Now, I also use it because, if you've been with this company very long, you keep hearing duplicatable, duplicatable, duplicatable. And that, people need to see that you don't have to know everything to be in this, to do this business well. And I am very good at showing people that you don't have to know what you're doing. Yeah. And that's where, I'll get on. Becky's asked me questions, or Barb, any of my team members or customers, and I'll quickly, Nicole knows, man, I'm like really quick to text her and go, are you free? And we'll do a three-way Zoom or a three-way call. And I feel like that also shows, my gosh, look how many people Linda has available to her on such short notice a lot of times. Nicole, I do that to you like a lot, with minimal notice. And we're getting on these three-way calls, and not only are they getting their question answered, but then Nicole typically will start asking them, a question or two just to engage them and find out where they are. So I have been just really, I can't say enough about utilizing this tool, getting your NMD on the phone, getting your new prospects, your new customers. I know, Becky, we got to sit in Atlanta and listen to, who was it that did the connection calls?
Her name was Lyndon, and I don't know her last name. You guys probably know it, but her name is Lyndon. And yeah, I took a little bit of notes, and like I said, I don't use them, but the more I speak about them, I feel like the more I will use them. So do you want me to talk a little bit on what she had to say, Linda?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the first thing that she said was relax, get it out of your head and into your heart and have fun. And I think, like, she talked about the awkwardness, like it feels awkward to even ask people to do this call for me, because I was thinking too much about it. I do think too much about it. And so since boot camp, I feel that I have actually talked to more people, just getting it out of my head into my heart and having fun. She said, she quoted Tony Branner saying, the people on my team that do the most connection calls grow the fastest. Well, hello. We all want to grow fast. I know I want to grow fast, and I know that I'm kind of stuck. So obviously, I want to duplicate what she's doing. Like you said, be duplicatable and get my butt in gear and do some three-way calls. And she said one of the reasons that we use it, and like we've said before, is to catch a glimpse into the contagious community. And you guys know the Peachtree Boot Camp, that was their theme, was being contagious. And it totally is. Every time I talk to Mick and Jenny and Nicole and Linda, every time I'm around them, I'm like, oh yeah, and a fire is lit and I'm encouraged and, I'm ready to go. So if we can show prospects, customers, future team members, whoever, the people that are supporting us and that they will be supported also, I think that would be a huge thing. She was hilarious because her upline, what was her name? Long dark hair. Anyway, her upline was totally uncomfortable with three-way calls.
Yeah,
But then Lyndon heard Tony Branner say, you want to grow fast, use the three-way calls. And she was like, I'm scheduling three-way calls all the time. And her upline's going, oh my goodness, this is weird. I don't do them. But I guess she got used to it really fast. So she was like, when do you do them? Anytime and often, like Linda just said. And when we first got started, that was almost all the time. I'd be asking Linda all these questions. She'd be like, hold on. Well, Nicole said, so I knew that we had a huge support line, and it was great. Let's see. She talked about it feeling intimidated and feeling awkward, but like anything else that we do in life, everything that we do for the first time is going to feel intimidating and awkward. And I know I've done this. I just kind of left this tool on the table because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to push through. And she said, push through. It might be awkward, but you'll get used to it, and pretty soon it'll feel natural. And she said, pick up the tool, learn it, use it. So there's that. She mentioned, okay, like scheduling, and I'm sure you all are aware of this, but just in case you're not, using their calendars to, look at their calendar and look at your calendar and talk to your teammates' calendar and then put it on your calendar and, calendar, make it all work together. So let's see. Linda, do you have anything to say? Because I'm just kind of reading down through my notes.
You're doing great. Keep going.
I went through this like 50 times. I'm probably missing half the stuff. Let's see. Oh, okay. So once again, the steps, of course, are right on the Team Eagles website. So if you're setting up a call and you want to be completely official, all the steps are right there. Like, well, let's see. She goes through it, but okay, anyway, on Team Eagles, it's up edifying and all that kind of stuff. Hold on, I'm sorry.
It's right
It's
there.
pulling it up.
It's right there.
Oh, thank you. Okay. I can't read. I'm on my phone, and that is super teeny.
So,
But yes, it's all right there.
right. You can connect with, if you've got a prospect for the business, a new team member, that's what I do a lot. Someone that's fast-tracked, congratulating them and getting them on a three-way call. And then it lists some of the reasons to do the three-way calls. And then like mixed scrolling down where it talks about edification. I think that is huge because I would say, I don't know, well, I think Becky, you knew all your team members really well before they became team members, but I would say probably half of mine I didn't know very well. So then to get on with Mick or Jenny and have them, someone that's been, with this company doing this for 25 plus years, edify me and talk about, me being this and that and good and blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
fan that little flame.
Yeah. Keep going.
Oh dear. Okay. Let's see. I just have she was talking about another reason to use the tool. And like you said, is for not just new team members, but customers and prospects. So like if they have a question, and I know I've done this myself, I love finding the answers. I love searching, and I know it's on the internet somewhere. I know it's on Team Eagles somewhere or Team JP. And I love doing that. But instead of tackling it myself, because hello, we're not alone, just schedule that three-way call and start to build that relationship and share the contagiousness and, do all that stuff. And she said, put the business part aside, put the Juice Plus stuff aside, and just build that relationship. Find any common denominator and hook them up. And she had this little thing which totally didn't feel me, so I didn't write it down, but she was like, I just love connecting people, and I would love to connect you too, and that is not me. But if that's you, that's great, use it. But that's part of the be authentic, be vulnerable, be the real person. She says, embrace the awkward, whatever that looks like for you, because I know that's totally me. She talked about avoiding the crickets, and I've not experienced that. Maybe it's because I embraced the awkward. I don't know. It didn't feel weird to me. I've never had like silence on the phone call because my uplines have always done such a great job. Taking care of just taking care of the meeting. So it was never, the inviting is awkward for me if I have to be honest. And so I know I need to work on that. But here are the steps real quick. I'll just read down through them. Is edify the guest. And again, like you share your common interests, edify the upline, which for me is they're completely encouraging. They've become very dear friends, and I trust them and I respect them. And, I would love for you just to talk to them because of how they always make me feel after I talk to them. Say why you're excited about the call. And again, I think that's just because of honestly, how encouraging they are and how excited they make me feel. So that's why I'm excited, because I want you to be excited. So, or I want them to be excited. Let's see. And then the upline takes it from there, which is the great part, for me right now, until I'm the upline, which I should be. Anyway, the upline just starts asking them about, what they do and how they feel and, whatever else the upline asks them. And then they share their story. And then they ask if there's any questions. And then that's when the conversation, she says, is supposed to get started, and they still start making connections. And then if no conversation happens, it's not a big deal. Then the upline, like Linda says, tells you how great you are and encourages you. And then we just thank each other, because time is a precious commodity. And, thank you for being here. It meant so much to me that this finally happened. So those are the 8 easy steps that I need to print out and post on my wall and start using. Yeah.
Becky, I've got to jump in and say it's so good to hear that, because that's just what we do.
Yeah. I know, you're so great at it.
Yeah.
Well, no, but it's good to know you go to the Peachtree Boot Camp. You're trained by Lyndon, and what you heard is what we do.
Yeah.
And that's powerful. Our business model is consistent right across the company. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So our goal for these calls is that the person would feel connected and encouraged with a glimpse of the contagious community we have in our tribe. And I call them my people. These are my people. So, that's our goal in a nutshell. Let's see. Yeah. And I just put, like I said, every time and Mick, did you have an ulterior motive here? Like why you asked me, or you were just like, she went to the Peachtree Boot Camp, she better talk on this, because I do not utilize this tool, but it definitely gets me excited and I'm motivated to use it.
Everyone should be using this tool. Everyone. I'm not kidding. This should just be a non-negotiable. I mean, honestly, that's how I feel. Just because of everything that I have seen that's happened after I've used it. With every single person, something has happened that has clicked on a light, that switched something. Every one of them.
I'm going to jump in. I've just unmuted Nicole Helmstetler, your upline, Linda.
Uh-huh.
Because you are just duplicating her.
Yeah.
Because Nicole does exactly this. And I noticed that Nicole, one of Nicole's newest team members, Tia, is on tonight, and she has live, but Nicole had Tia on a 3-way welcome connection call with me last Friday.
Awesome.
And I don't need to put Tia on the spot, but I will put Nicole and you, Linda, on the spot, because the two of you are just fantastic at inviting Jenny or me to do these welcome connection calls. There's Tia. But my question for Nicole and Linda is, are any two ever the same?
No. They're not.
And that's so important.
It is.
To confirm, because although there are steps that we go through, I guess we're relaxed enough and we enjoy what we do enough that every single one is different, because each person, Tia, is completely different from all the others that Nicole has invited us to be on a connection call with. And we have fun, but also I want, so let me put it this way. Yes, when appropriate, we cast vision. But when I was chatting with Tia and Nicole last Friday, I didn't feel comfortable pushing a vision on Tia that I didn't think she was ready for. And I could have completely misjudged it. And so, Tia, if I misjudged it, I apologize. But I always try to be sensitive and discerning as to what's appropriate to the person who has joined me. Because it's not all about me, and it's not all about you, Linda, or you, Nicole. It's all about Tia.
Right.
And that's so important. Nicole?
Well, I think something that, if I'm remembering correctly, they talked about in Peachtree was that you've got to personalize it to the person. So there isn't a cookie cutter way of doing things. Yes, there's a tried and proven system, but you have to look at your new rep and follow their speed and match that. You know, if you do for it, they're going to stop. You know, if you don't push hard enough, I don't know if I'm coming through. But anyways, she was just talking about personalizing it for the person and making sure that, you know, you're reading them. And I think you and Jenny do a great job of that.
Well, and
I'm hoping to learn that.
And I hope Nicole and Linda and Becky that, well, and everyone who you've had join us on one of these three-way connection calls, I hope that we are modeling what you are doing yourselves, because I hear what Linda says about the value of Jenny and I having been doing this for all these 25 plus years. But honestly, that isn't as important as it sounds, because Nicole does a fantastic job when Linda or Becky or their team need Nicole. And Nicole can do just as good a job as we do.
Right.
She'll do it just in a different way. And I see others who are on here, you know, Brianna and Tara and others who have been around long enough and who are experienced enough. Denise, Cheryl, you know, Rachel, obviously, Rachel. Every one of you can and should be encouraging your teams to be inviting you to do these connection calls, because it's about connecting these people with our contagious community, our contagious culture. And if we're not, every one of us, contagious, we need to do what Becky did and get made contagious again, right?
And for those of you who have a fear of picking up the phone, as Becky said, you know, some people say, well, this is going to feel very weird. I would just point out that Cheryl Cortese, who is probably the number one lady money earner in the company, she has built her business after, well, she's been with the company longer than we have, but she basically built her business using the telephone. And I remember going to a boot camp many, many years ago when she said initially it scared her silly. But she said, you just got to do it. Pick up the phone and do it. You know, the more times you do it, gradually you'll mess up to begin with, but that's fine. That's just demonstrating to your team that anybody can do this business, and gradually over time you will improve. So I think the other thing about these three-way phone calls is that they demonstrate that you or the new person, whoever it is, you know, the sponsor, it shows that they don't have to know all the answers to the questions, that it's very much a team effort, and you don't need to know everything, because you can always hook somebody up with someone who can give the answers. And I know it's been said also that somebody may not believe what a friend tells them, but if you get somebody else on the phone with them, somebody that they don't know, that other person suddenly becomes the expert and they'll believe every word. So yeah, lots of things there to think about.
Right.
Okay, Linda, Becky, any closing thoughts, any words?
Or any questions for anyone else?
To the right, I remember. Why?
I did unmute everybody, but
A mate together
somebody's chatting away.
on the department together.
Okay, I'll mute everyone
That.
so that we're not listening to a private conversation. So if you have a question, please unmute yourself. And Linda and Becky, I muted you, so I'll unmute you again so that you can give us final thoughts if you have them.
Okay. So we have to unmute ourselves. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I had a question earlier and now I forget it. I guess I just am like, yeah, I'm not going to say what I was thinking.
It's late.
I wanted to make a comment. I thought it was a great talk, and Becky, you did an awesome job I really think you portrayed the fun part of have fun, because you were smiling. I mean, just the way you presented yourself tonight. I'm very impressed.
Oh, thanks.
You look like you're having fun. That's what we're supposed to do, right?
Right. I am having fun and I'm excited. So, and it's 9:30 and I'm still awake. So, it's good.
That's awesome. Okay, well, Linda, Becky, we are out of time now. So thank you so much for doing this for us this evening. I know there's a lot of valuable information there, and certainly that's you put across to the rest of us just your passion and your excitement, your joy, and your having fun. So looking ahead to next week, we have a very special Zoom next Monday evening. We will be featuring none other than our sponsor, Kurt Beavers, on the call.
Oh, wow.
Some of you know Kurt. Some of you have met Kurt. You would have seen him at the Peachtree Boot Camp and spent time with him. I know he's a very, very special person, a dear friend of ours. We've known Kurt for nearly 30 years now, and he has some wonderful words of wisdom to share. So I know that if you've met Kurt, if you know him, you will make a point of being on the call. And if you don't know Kurt and have no idea who he is, that's another really good reason to be on the call next Monday evening, so that you can indeed meet him and hear that you are part of a bigger team. It's not all about Mick and Jenny by any means. We are all part of the Beavers team. And those of you coming to conference in April as well will get to meet Kurt and his family, and a lot of you joining us at the prayer breakfast too on the Friday morning. So that is awesome. We will look forward to seeing you same time, same place next Monday night. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for being on. God bless. Thank you, Becky. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank y'all.